The Lion King franchise has introduced us to a world filled with compelling characters, royal bloodlines, and intriguing connections. One of the most mysterious characters is Kovu, the adopted son of Zira, who was chosen to follow in Scar's footsteps. However, there are many fan theories suggesting that Kovu might have a much closer connection to Mufasa than we originally thought. Could it be that Kovu was, in fact, the rightful heir to the Pride Lands? Today, unravel the hidden lineage of Kovu and explore whether his bloodline ties back to Mufasa himself. But before we can explore his possible connection to Mufasa, we first need to understand who Kovu really is. Kovu was introduced in The Lion King to Simba's pride as the chosen heir of Scar, raised by Zira to one day overthrow Simba and reclaim the throne. Unlike Scar, Kovu does not have a direct blood connection to him, which makes his claim to leadership questionable. Zira insists that Scar handpicked him as his successor, yet many fans believe there is more to Kovu's origin than meets the eye. What if Scar chose Kovu not just because he saw potential in him, but because he knew something about Kovu's true heritage? Could Scar have been aware of Kovu's lineage and seen him as the rightful ruler? This question has led to multiple theories that suggest Kovu may be connected to Mufasa himself. The absence of a father in Kovu's story raises even more questions about his true origins and why his lineage was kept a secret. In The Lion King 2, we are never given any information about who Kovu's real father is. This is highly unusual, considering that lion prides are patriarchal and the identity of a cub's father often plays a crucial role in determining his status within the group. If Kovu was just another rogue cub, why would Scar personally choose him as an heir? The lack of information regarding his father's identity has led some to believe that Kovu's origins were intentionally kept secret to hide a larger truth, one that might directly connect him to Mufasa's lineage. The similarities between Kovu and Simba go beyond just their destinies. Physically and emotionally, they share striking resemblances that raise even more questions about Kovu's true origins. Looking at Kovu and Simba side by side, the similarities are striking. While Kovu has a darker fur tone, his facial structure, eye shape, and even his mane as an adult closely resemble Simba's. Unlike Scar, who had a more angular and sharp-featured face, Kovu has a rounder face that is more in line with Mufasa and Simba's features. Could it be that Kovu shares genes with Mufasa's bloodline? If so, how? One possibility is that Kovu's father was a rogue lion who had some connection to Mufasa's lineage. Some fans theorize that Kovu's father could have been one of Mufasa's lost relatives, or even a brother that was never mentioned in the films. If this were the case, it would mean that Kovu has royal blood running through his veins, making him more of a rightful heir than previously thought. The question of whether Kovu was actually related to Scar is one that has puzzled fans for years. Could there be a hidden family connection that ties them together, or was Kovu chosen for a different reason? One of the major misconceptions about Kovu is that he is Scar's son. This is explicitly denied in The Lion King 2, yet Zira's obsession with Scar makes many wonder if there is still some kind of familial tie. If Scar truly was not Kovu's father, why was Zira so determined to make him king? One possibility is that Scar saw something in Kovu that reminded him of Mufasa's legacy rather than his own. If Scar resented Mufasa yet still admired his strength, he might have chosen Kovu because of his connection to that bloodline. In doing so, Scar could have been attempting to manipulate the Pride Lands by placing a lion of Mufasa's blood on the throne under his own ideology. Zira's true motives have long been debated. Was she merely seeking revenge for Scar, or did she have a greater plan, one that involved Kovu's hidden lineage? Zira was fiercely loyal to Scar, but what if her obsession was about more than just avenging his death? What if Zira too was aware of Kovu's true heritage? If she knew that Kovu was connected to Mufasa, she could have used him as a pawn to overthrow Simba, using his hidden royal bloodline as a way to make her cause seem more legitimate. After all, if Kovu had Mufasa's lineage in him, it would have been easier to convince other lions to follow him as king. Many of the Outlanders were outcasts, but if they knew that Kovu had a legitimate claim to the throne, they might have been more willing to accept him as their leader, instead of just blindly following Zira's revenge-fueled ambitions. The spiritual connection to Mufasa may provide the strongest clue yet about Kovu's true heritage. Throughout the Lion King franchise, the spirits of the past kings watch over the Pride Lands. Mufasa appears to Simba multiple times to guide him, yet we never see him appear to Kovu. However, what if Mufasa's influence on Kovu was more subtle? If Kovu were truly connected to Mufasa's bloodline, it's possible that the great kings of the past were watching over him all along, steering him toward a more righteous destiny. Unlike Scar, who chose a path of deception and conquest, Kovu ultimately rejects the cycle of hatred that Scar and Zira tried to instill in him. This raises an interesting question. Was Kovu's transformation simply a result of Kiara's influence, or was there a greater force at play? The great kings of the past may have silently guided him through an instinct, wisdom, and an inherited sense of justice that he could not explain. Even without a direct vision from Mufasa, Kovu's choices reflect the ideals of a true king, much like Simba before him. Perhaps the spirits of the Pride Lands were always watching over him, ensuring that he would follow the path he was always meant to walk. As we reach the conclusion of Kovu's journey, one question remains. What role did he play in bringing balance back to the Pride Lands? The Lion King 2, Kovu and Kiara unite the Pride Lands and the Outlanders, symbolizing a new era of peace. If Kovu had no real connection to the royal family, his acceptance as Simba's heir would seem somewhat forced. However, if Kovu did have royal blood, then his marriage to Kiara would be the perfect way to restore Mufasa's lineage to its rightful place on the throne. This would mean that Simba, knowingly or unknowingly, allowed his own bloodline to continue through Kovu, cementing his father's legacy in the most unexpected way. It also provides an even stronger reason for why the spirits of the great kings of the past seem to accept Kovu in the end. If he was truly a part of their line, they would have always been guiding him toward his rightful destiny. Looking at all the clues and theories we've explored, one final question remains. What does it all mean for Kovu's place in the Pride Lands? While the movies never explicitly confirm Kovu's true parentage, there are enough clues to suggest that he may be connected to Mufasa's lineage. His physical resemblance to Simba, his noble instincts, and the way his story arc mirrors that of a rightful heir all hint at a deeper connection. Some theories propose that Kovu's father was a rogue lion with ties to Mufasa's bloodline, possibly even a lost sibling of Mufasa himself. Others speculate that Zira, despite her devotion to Scar, may have had links to Mufasa's pride, making Kovu's heritage even more complex than we realize. Scar's decision to choose Kovu as his successor also raises questions. Did Scar recognize something in Kovu that reminded him of Mufasa? Perhaps, in an ironic twist, Scar unknowingly set in motion a path that would restore Mufasa's bloodline to the throne rather than continuing his own influence. If this is the case, then Kovu's story is not just one of redemption, but of destiny fulfilling itself, placing the Pride Lands back under the rightful rule of Mufasa's lineage. Whether through lost ancestry, fate, or hidden truths, the possibility remains that Kovu was always meant to rule, not as Scar's heir, but as Mufasa's true successor. His acceptance into Simba's pride may not have been just an act of peace, but the restoration of a royal bloodline that had unknowingly been disrupted. Could Kovu have been the rightful king all along? Was his acceptance into Simba's pride a restoration of Mufasa's lineage? Let us know in the comments what you think about this fascinating theory, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of the Lion King.